Welcome back, everyone. I'm super excited to talk to our guest again. Today, we're going to talk to them more about their current plans with the organizations, some of the things that they have set this summer during Pride season to continue to create community for people and to create space where we need. So the first question I have is, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, COVID-19. What are your organizations doing to ensure that we still have access to programming, community spaces, things like that for our queer LGBTQIA overarching community? Emmet, you want to jump in with the gay agenda?
Sure, yeah. I'm glad you got the extra E. Appreciate it. So when COVID-19 struck, like really struck, and we were like, oh, it's wrong to bring people together. So we need to change what our mission is, which is to bring people together. Or maybe we don't need to change it, we need to tweak it. How do we do it virtually? So we've launched a Stay Homo series that we've started in March, and we're still continuing on through May and June, which includes an artist talk series called The Gab. We have the Learning Factory, which is workshops taught by queer people, everything from tarot to learning about herbs to chainmail. And then, of course, there's the social element. So me and Sheldon got together. We did this thing called the Lonely Gay Social, where it was speed dating over Zoom. We also linked up with a queer producer in New Orleans. So we were meeting queers from all over, which is a cool facet of this geography doesn't matter anymore virtual world, is that we can meet people from anywhere, barring the obstacle of time zone, of course. So we've been doing those things, and gearing up for Pride, it's been a cool time to figure out how to better collaborate with other queer producers. So currently have some cool things cooking for June with the help of Anita with Unbounded and Katie Drackert or Katie Kinetic. Might have a little kid show in store with the gay agenda for June, because Lord knows we all needed more queer content when we were itty bitty, instead of being so confused by Topanga and other queer icons who made us come out. So lots of cool stuff in store, and it's hard, and it's I will say, as a producer, you put a lot of work into it, and you're behind the screen for any physical event, right? You're sending emails to connect people, and then the event happens in person, and you're just like, this is why I do this. I get it. And you're so nourished, and it's so easy. It doesn't quite feel that way right now. When the events happen, there is still some of that, but there's something lacking. So I'm curious, what y'all have also been doing or have cooking, because I think we all need that community nourishment, but how do we do it just like this?
Yeah, I think that's important to look at. How do we? I completely get when you're done with an event and you can physically see what you've done. It's different than when it's virtual and you're like, everyone logged off, people came, but then you don't get the same engagement in person. And I want to kind of go to James. I know San Antonio Pride, I didn't know San Antonio was the sixth largest city in the nation. But that's huge with that many people celebrating Pride. And I'm curious to know how you all are handling COVID-19. And I know, well, I'll let you answer. I don't want to tease anything, but I know y'all have some plans to deal with it, and I wanted to give you the chance to talk about it.
So, yeah, this would normally be an extremely busy time for me. I'm a school teacher by day, I guess you could say, and all of this, of course, is all. We have a completely all volunteer board, And we would normally be really deep in the throes of planning for our event, which is the fourth Saturday in June. But our city has made decisions not to approve our permit because of COVID-19. And we decided to go ahead and host a virtual Pride. And honestly, it's really hard for me because I'm kind of getting a little bit of depression from this, because I've been doing this for so long that all of a sudden not being as busy as I normally would right now is really crazy, because doing a virtual Pride is completely different from having to worry about fencing and entertainment and flights coming in and hotels and sponsors and all these different things. I just feel like something's wrong, like I'm not living up to what I should be living up to. So it's very difficult. So we're planning a virtual Pride, and we're working with a producer from a local news affiliate who's helping us kind of muddle through this thing. And we're going to have a lot of different parts to it, actually, because we want to really feature different parts of our community. So we're going to be we're partnering with the library for a drag queen story time, and we have actually, since 2015, we've been hosting a mass wedding every year on our festival stage. And we're going to be hosting a virtual wedding. The judge that works with us on that is said that it's going to be possible to do it, and it's all legal, and he's got it all under control. So so we also have a high heel race, which, how do we do that virtually? Well, we're working that out as well. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to do virtually, recognizing we're doing some makeup tutorials, and we're going to do a cat in the hat segment. We're going to do a drag queen story time, a virtual wedding, a virtual high heel race. So we're trying to maintain as much normalcy as possible, but it's complicated right now because it's a whole new ball game for all of us.
I know. Thanks, James, so much for sharing. I know Devyn, Queerbomb is also going virtual. Tell us about some of the things that y'all have changed as we try to navigate the murky waters of hosting events during a pandemic.
Yeah, this is really sad for us. I mean, it's sad all around, but this is our 10-year anniversary, and we had some really amazing plans for this year. So it's a little bit heartbreaking. I've been amazed by my team. They're just doing unbelievable things right now and trying to figure out what it means to do this all virtually, learning all these new platforms, and coming up with some really fun, creative new ways to engage with the community this year. We are taking submissions from community members, and so we have people singing, people that are like reading poems, and it's just whoever in the community wants to share their queerness and their art and spread love gets to submit anything they'd like, which has been really, really cool seeing everything that's been coming in. We're actually still, I don't know when this goes live, but we're still taking submissions until the 31st of June. And then we're also, the first part of Queerbomb kind of happens in 4 parts. The first part is tabling. We bring in all of the community organizations that serve the queer, trans, non-binary population and just ask them to share all the information and all their services. So we're asking community organizations to kind of give us a little commercial, so to speak, sharing their different resources and how everything's changed during COVID and how they're still showing up for us. And then we're doing some performances. We still have our rally, which is the second part of our event. And we have 5 speakers from different parts of the community, which we're really, really excited for. And then the really sad part to me is that we're not gonna have the march. The march, we all march down 6th Street just so that everyone can see that we're queer and we're here and we're happy to be so. For our own visibility, but also for the people that fought for us to have this in the first place. And for those that still don't get to feel comfortable being queer, can't be out at work or at home or wherever, we're out for them. And it's really hard for us to not have that. So we will, once everything opens up again, figure out how to have a march so that we can all remind Austin that we're all still here and loud and queer and happy to be so. And then after we have a little Zoom dance party, which I'm very, very excited about. Some of my favorite DJs are going to be showing up. So it's going to be a wonderful time. It will be sad and not exactly the same thing that we were hoping for, but we've got next year. And I'm glad that everyone can stay safe right now. So we're happy to do.
Sheldon, I know y'all had some big plans with Austin Black Pride this year. And so what are some things that y'all have going on in response to COVID? but still trying to keep the community safe and sane and together.
Yeah, definitely. So, like y'all, I was feeling very much so hurt that we had to cancel this year. This was our 5th celebration. I always attribute Awesome Black Pride to be like a baby of mine. So I was excited for its 5th birthday party. But hey, it's all good. One of the beautiful things about, us and a lot of the different organizations on right now is that, we do have programming throughout the year. We don't feel as, defeated because we are able to dive into the virtual spirit like a lot of other folks. So again, like partnering with Emmet and, with Queerbomb, the virtual Queerbomb coming up, I'm sure we'll be a part of that as well. And there's a lot of just, different efforts that are happening around the city. For instance, Quell is trying to provide free pride flags because, visibility is a huge component of pride. And so they're trying to give everybody a pride flag to, show their support of the community and show that they, are visible here within the community. So this year we're going to be partnering with MOBI, which is Mobilizing Our Brothers initiative. They're going to be hosting a virtual pride on June the 4th is when it kicks off. And we've also just taken a look at some of the things that we haven't had, we wouldn't have had the time to focus on right now during this month. So we're partnering with Tabitha Hamilton to offer like virtual mindful living, a virtual mindful living series and social media campaign. We're bringing to life the Black Queer Here community collective, where we plan like a master calendar of all the different Black, queer, trans, and non-binary events, and build a sense of community there, and also kicking off our trans and non-binary task force. Where we're not as visible for the 5th Awesome Black Pride celebration, we are making strides to just push the community forward, push our organization forward, and continue to, uplift and support where we can.
I know, Jordy, y'all are a brand new organization with Austin Latinx Pride to Austin. And I know this was going to be like a coming out moment for y'all. Boom. But I did want to talk to you about how COVID has changed any plans going forward. I know it's hard being an established organization and then COVID happens, but being a brand new organization, trying to get your foot off the ground, where are y'all at now with trying to still continue creating this space, but knowing the difficulties of doing this during the pandemic?
Yeah, Joe, it is, as all of us here, it is very sad for us to know that, el coronavirus happened and we don't get to start our organization. We've been trying to, bring this initiative out there for so long that this just, brings, sadness to our lives. But I just want to say that for right now, what we're doing is that we only have a Facebook page that we share content on, and it's Austin Latinx Pride. So what we try to do is, just because, any news about COVID-19 can be very overwhelming. And as most of our members, they can, just seeing these types of stuff can be, very traumatic. And it's not good for us to be hearing a lot of stuff, about, oh, you're not able to, go outside, or the cases keep rising. So what we try to do at, Austin Latinx Pride page on Facebook is that we try to share as much content that is, related to the Latinx queer community, so that we try to bring more entertainment and, I would say, distractions to our lives, rather than overwhelming our peers with a lot of, news that are just not good for, like our mental health and stuff. But it is very sad, just because we had, plans to come out, like you mentioned, and just, like launch this initiative and partner up with a lot of organizations out there. But unfortunately, this happened. And right now, what we're trying to do is share content and make sure that the community knows who we are and that we're here for them. we do not have, as many resources at the moment, just because we weren't able to meet with, with other people to talk about our initiative. But right now, that's something that Austin Latinx Pride is just resources that might be available to our community and people that belongs to our community. And those are, Latinx queer, undocumented queer, or, people with disabilities that are Latinx as well. And, we're just here trying to figure out what we're gonna do, in the future once this is over.
Thank you. And I want, before we end this segment today, I wanted to ask all of you, these are unprecedented times. We've heard that phrase over and over and over again. We've heard COVID-19, and we all, there are things that we don't know about, the virus, and there are things that we kind of have gotten used to over the past couple of months dealing with this. But I wanted to highlight a story of joy. And so what are some moments within our community dealing with COVID that you've seen people stepping up to form more community, or to form more opportunities for us to, like Jordy was talking about, kind of just be and not have to worry about COVID, or not have to worry about reading the news? Or what are some moments that y'all have seen people kind of step up within our circles to form that community that we're talking about?
I'm going to jump in and immediately nominate Emmet and the Gay Agenda. They have done some phenomenal, when it comes to programming, they're like programming royalty. They always find ways to, keep folks connected, keep them connected in a new and fresh way, and like upbeat and fun. Like, who would have thought, like, someone could pull off speed dating virtually? Like, I just can't sing their praises enough. And, just other folks in the community, I just feel like folks are stepping up in ways that are much so needed. Everything from hosting like a Netflix watch party, checking in on Facebook groups. Social media has been phenomenal in keeping us all connected. I think there's nothing like that sense of like intimacy and being with someone, being able to hug someone, being able to rub shoulders. But social media has definitely been a beautiful way to keep folks from feeling isolated and just kind of disconnected. So yeah. Social media and Emmet Hunker are the go-tos.
I'd like to, I guess, Emmet or nominate Clayton from Quell. He was mentioned a little bit earlier, but Clayton just is about to launch. It launches on June 1st. Pride flags for everyone in the community. We're trying to get it free. If we can get enough donations, the donation page will go live, like I said, on the 1st of June. But just to get that sense of visibility, Pride Month is all about us being seen and not being able to go out there and do that ourselves, being able to just, like, if you're going on a walk or you're driving to the grocery store, look around and see that half your neighborhood is covered in Pride flags. Like, just kind of gives your heart a little like, oh, okay, I'm not alone, I'm accepted and I'm loved. And I think that's such a beautiful idea. I'm so excited to see it happen.
I love that. Yeah, we're going on walks more than ever, right? So if I can know who the queers are in my neighborhood, like, please. I will pick up my dog's poop. No, I always do that, I promise. Thank you, Sheldon, for the shout out. It's like, I need the Gay Agenda just as much as anyone needs the Gay Agenda. So we've been keeping programming going, and it's been keeping me sane. And I'll also say, what I've seen with queer people stepping up is other producers, like, immediately were down to collaborate in a way that might have taken us months or years to come together and be like, let's figure this out. And what's happening on this Zoom call right here, like, I don't know if I ever would have met James or Jordy. I know Sheldon and Devyn, not ever, but it would have taken more time. It's taking this crisis for us to be like, hey, we're doing the same thing. Do you want to do it together and maybe better? So that's really cool. And people are very, very open to that. I haven't been approached for collaboration or approached someone for collaboration and been denied. It's been like, okay, my bandwidth is tight, but this is what I can do. So that's really inspiring for me.
Yeah, I cannot think of anybody local, and I do appreciate, you know, all the local people over here speaking out for our community and all these organizations. You know, the Queer Agenda and, you know, Queerbomb and Awesome Black Pride. Like, y'all are doing some amazing work for our community and, you know, communities that are often not seen. But also, like, I guess, you know, my, you know, story of joy or inspiration during this, you know, pandemic, it's somebody that is, you know, that he was, you know, nobody. And then, you know, after, you know, doing a lot of songs and just, you know, growing, I'm sure that, you know, might be, you know, might thinking that I'm talking about the icon Bad Bunny. He is a big person in the Latinx community and in the world. Like, I'm just so inspired by him and by everything that he's been doing, just speaking out for, you know, our transgender folks in Puerto Rico and raising our voices with that video that he just made, Yo Perreo Sola, you know, him being dressed up as a woman and him being himself and just, you know, being surrounded by queens. It was just amazing, you know, it just brings a lot of joy and it breaks those, you know, that cycle of machismo that it's often seen in our community. So I am just, you know, very inspired by him and I am very proud of, you know, our community. And I am so happy that he's finally, like, somebody's finally doing something that big to break those stereotypes and those definitions of what a man or a woman should be, you know? I just, whenever I saw that performance by him on the Saturday Night Live show, whenever he was wearing a skirt and that t-shirt that it says, they didn't kill a man with a skirt, they killed Alexa, like, say her name, you know? Like, that was just, so it moved me, like, it made me, you know, like, very emotional and, you know, I got chills when I saw that. But I was just so happy that, you know, celebrities are finally speaking out for, you know, our communities that sometimes they're, you know, they just would like to bring content out just for themselves and not, you know, care about the community. So I'm just so inspired by that.
I want to thank you all for joining us for this part of the conversation where we talked about what a lot of the organizations are doing currently during COVID. We wrote a blog that talked, that we posted, where you can go and look at some other ways that you can still show pride during a pandemic. So check it out on our website. Thanks for joining this version of the Pride Roundtable, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.